Hey there, today's video is all about purpose, about life purpose, about having a purpose. So this is for you if you don't know what your life purpose is, you think you don't have one, you're too busy to think about it, or you think you've had one and then you've lost it. It's for all those different reasons, but it's also if you have been setting goals for the new year, perhaps you've already fallen off the wagon with them, or perhaps they're not quite feeling congruent and you're not sure why, or perhaps you failed with some of your goals last year and you don't want the same to happen this year. Or finally, if you reach your goals, you tend to move on quickly to the next one and you don't necessarily have that real sense of fulfillment. So for lots of reasons, having a purpose helps you reach your goals or feel happy once you've achieved your goals, which is why this time of year is such a brilliant time to think about this. So purpose is our topic of the month in the Wellbeing Forum, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to make a video for you today. So I'll keep it short to about 5 minutes, and I hope then you'll stay with me to the end so I can share this training with you. Where we will start with having a definition, because otherwise if we aren't clear what we're talking about, everyone has a different definition of life purpose, and the one I like to work with is really defining it as an emotion. So it isn't a thing, it isn't necessarily your job or your kids or a desire to build a school in Africa or whatever this kind of deep, really soulful goal is. It's more about the feeling that creates. So maybe you have kids because you like to feel that unconditional love. Maybe you want to build a school in Africa because you want to feel like you're really making a difference and that you want to feel a deep connection with the children there. Whatever, but you have a very, very strong sense of awareness about the feeling you want to create. Because for me, life purpose is about having a feeling that you cultivate within yourself, but then that you can pass that on to other people, and that's what gives you that sense of fulfillment, that's deep sense of fulfillment within you. So it's worth stepping back and just taking that on board for a minute, because sometimes that can feel a bit strange. It's like, well, I thought my purpose was to be doing the job I'm doing, and yes, that's part of it, but it's not necessarily your whole purpose, your whole life purpose. So I hope that makes sense. And secondly, then it's to, once you are reasonably clear about, say, 2, 3, maybe up to 5 feelings that you want to create and cultivate over this next year, then you can match that against the goals you've perhaps already set yourself. So maybe you've set the goal of, for example, having more energy. So is one of your core desired feelings or emotions energy or not? Or has, at a deeper level, isn't that really very important to you? And you match it against each one of your goals. And if it matches, then that's great. You're probably there already. And if there's a mismatch, that's when often we have a little bit more soul seeking to do, a bit more digging, to see really what these purposeful goals are all about for you. And that's what I love exploring with people. And why do I think this is so important? I do a lot of work with people over this, and it's actually where I start with almost every single client, is identifying their goals and making sure that they are purposeful goals. And the reason this is so important with whoever walks through my door, whoever I speak to, is because everything else depends on it. So your health depends on it, your wealth depends on it. Abundance follows once you have that purpose. But if you've gone on the wrong track, you can probably guarantee that a whole host of other things will start to kind of go wrong behind it. So I strongly believe that this is the foundation of having a healthy, happy and successful life, which is what I aim to help people do. There is a further training on this. I've done a webinar a few weeks ago, so you can watch the replay and it goes in a little bit more depth, but I want to just give you a taster today so you know what I'm talking about when I start to talk about life purpose, that we share a common definition of that. So that's what you have here. So I will leave you with 3 tips. Tips are: Try and identify your core desired feelings, which are then part of your life purpose, and try and get it down to 3 or up to 5. But so you've got 3 or 5 core words for your year. And it might take you a few days to do that, that's fine. And you might keep changing them, and you might find that 2 or 3 words are quite similar. You might have connected and love, and actually they're quite similar. So that's okay. Once you've narrowed it down, then the second tip is to write them down. Write them everywhere. Write them in your diary, write them on a post-it, write them in your phone, so that every time you're making a difficult decision, you can almost take it back to these core desired feelings, which is part of your purpose. And that keeps you on track. It makes it easier to say yes. It makes it easier to say no. It makes it very clear where you're going. And it's like a compass. If we have that north, if we have that north star to guide us, then it'll be very clear. But if we haven't got that sense of direction, it's so easy to go off track and get distracted. And I work a huge amount with people who are either burnt out or feeling a bit disillusioned, and it's then they often feel overwhelmed, and often their overwhelm is coming from their lack of focus, and the lack of focus it all comes back to the purpose. So whether I'm helping people with a health issue or more of a sense of dissatisfaction in their life, I would always start with this point. So you have your 2 bits to go away with there. I will leave you with that, and I really hope that's been useful. Do join us in the Wellbeing Forum, because there you can ask any more questions about this, and I'd love to discuss it with you further. Take care. Bye bye.